Okay, so now we're going to talk about deploying the rope and using the rope for different things. Most of the time the rope's going to be stowed away on the head like this during your whole hunt. It's really only used for a couple of different things, 3 different things that I've used it before. The first thing you can use it for, obviously, is for when you're ready to quarter your animal. You're going to want to set it up and use the rope, obviously. The other couple things that you can use it for is for glassing in the wind. You can deploy the rope and set it up to kind of give you a little bit of weight. You can hang your backpack from it. You can, if you're sitting down on the ground, you can wrap it around your leg to be able to stabilize a little bit more, and it kind of makes a heavy tripod. It actually makes the heaviest tripod on the market if you add that weight, okay? So if you're shooting from it, there's a couple things you can do when you're shooting. You can also, if you need a little more weight on your tripod, you need to add some weight to it, hang your pack from that rope. The other thing you can do is hook the hook end. You can actually hook that hook end up to the gun and lock it and create a triangular effect if you want to take time to set up to do that. And I'll show you a little bit of that in another video some other time. For right now, we're going to deploy the rope as if we have an animal down and we're going to get ready to quarter that thing. You'll set the tripod up like this over the top of the animal, and basically I like to start over the front or the rear, it doesn't really matter, and you can look at some of my other videos on how to do the quartering method with an actual animal. We're going to kind of pretend there's one here today, and I'm going to just show you how to deploy the rope. You can kind of see how there's these little loops underneath here that kind of hold the rope under there. You just pull on those and you'll notice there's kind of these little plastic pins that came out of the holes in the bottom of the head. I'm going to show you those holes here and how that looks. We're going to use this one with the Dyneema rope now, and you can kind of see it looks like kind of a mess under here, but that's what you're doing, is you're just basically pulling those pins out of these holes. You can kind of see there's 3 holes in the bottom, and you're just basically pushing those pins back up in those holes when you set the rope back in. And I'll show you how to do that when we get to winding that rope back up. But you're pulling those out, and there's one last pin here that kind of has a little bit of grip on it. It doesn't slide as freely as some of the other ones, and that's there to hold that hook up against the head like that, so it's not hanging down and kind of dinging against the side of the tubes. Sometimes you want to just have that sucked up tight. So you can kind of see how that's sucked up tight there using the last wrap on the rope here to get that to come undone. But we're going to show you that on the head here now. So I've pulled these out, and I'm going to pull this last pin out of that little hook, and it kind of just starts to come apart pretty easy. So you just pull this loose like this. It just unwinds off of that spool, and it unwinds off the next one. And you just kind of got to unwind each one. Sometimes you can kind of pull on it like that really fast, and it can kind of come off of there rather quickly if you do it just right. So now we have the tail pulled all the way loose, and you should be able to just grab the hook and pull it down and pull it through the head like that. And you're going to go down and you're going to wrap it around the foot of the animal. We're just going to use my foot for now to kind of give an example of some weight. So you kind of want to have some weight hanging here if you're going to practice with this lock mechanism. So we're going to pick up that weight straight up, and you're pulling straight down. And when you have weight on here, and then you have the tension on the tail, you let go of the weight first. And you can see I'm still holding the tail here, but all my weight is on here now. And now we're going to let go of that tail, and it locks. If I want to unlock this, you lift up on the weight, pull on the tail a little bit, then let go of the tail, and then you can pull that weight back through. Okay, so that's how it unlocks. You're lifting straight up, let go of the weight first, then let go of the tail, and it locks. So when you have that quarter pulled up here, and you have that quarter up here hanging, and you put your game bag on it, you grab that quarter, and you lift it up like this, and you pull the tail a little bit, and that freed that pin up inside there, the lock mechanism, and now you'll be able to pull that weight back through, and then it unhooks off of the leg, and you can walk over and set your quarter down. You can take another lap link like this and make a short loop like that with a piece of paracord. You can build this yourself because you can buy these lap links at the hardware store. It's a simple chain lap link, as you can see. So you can build one of these, or you can buy one on the peripherals page. We have this extra lap link cord setup to use this as a block and tackle. Now unfortunately I did not get one with me today to do this video, but we're going to show you how that works really quick. So if you have a hard time lifting up that heavy quarter, say you're on a hillside, and I've been there before where you're on a steep hillside and you just cannot get the arm pressure by yourself to get that thing lifted up and pulling at the same time. So what you do then is get that thing ready to lift off the animal, but before you do that, unhook it, pull the hook all the way up to the head like this, and it'll pull up tight like that, okay? Take that extra lap link and loop it around the knee or the hock of the leg, and then that extra lap link will be hooked onto the quarter. You'll take the tail, and we're going to pretend my finger is that lap link. We take the tail and you hook it through one of those hooks, and you bring it back up and hook it through one of these hooks, and you're going to go back down and hook it through the other hook on that lap link, and now you're able to pull up, you see, and I've now tripled my strength on this cord. So now I'm actually, if this is an 80-pound quarter hanging here, I'm only actually holding about 25 or 30 pounds of that by this cord right here. So now you can just kind of lift that up, you see, and it just slides through the double link like that. My finger's kind of acting as the double hook. Let's just try to do it like that. We got a double hook there, and now we're lifting that up. You can kind of see how that works, is you're creating a block and tackle as you lift that up, and you use that other lap link for that. And when you lift that up like that, you're going to lift it up and you're going to hold this, so you have to still hold on to this. You're not using the lock mechanism inside the head anymore. What you're going to have to do when you pull that all the way up and you got it up off of there, you're going to want to wrap it around one of these standoffs and lock it in there. And I want to show you what that looks like. What I did there is I took the tail, and as I'm holding that weight up, all I did was wrap it around the top of that and pulled it down into that little groove right there, and it locked that in. And that's another good purpose for that standoff right there, to use that to secure the rope. If you do it like this, you're not going to be using the lock mechanism in the head anymore, so you're going to have to, again, you're going to have to get that to stay put on there. When you lift up, you're holding weight here still, so you're going to hold on to that weight, and you're going to wrap it around the top of that and lock it into the top of that, and then that weight then is hanging from that right there. So now I'm kind of pretty much hanging a lot of my body weight off of that doubled up rope right there. And then you can put your game bag on or wrap it up, whatever you do. You can debone it like that too. Works really well too.